There are small questions and there are big questions. An example of a small question is, where do you want to go for dinner? Now, this should be a small question of little consequence, yet it has led to some of the most invigorating discussions and debates in cars between married couples for millennium. I mean, cave people fought over where to eat for dinner, right? These are small questions. But there are also these big questions. And the reality is, if small questions can ignite such a response, imagine the impact of a big question like, where did we come from? Or what does it mean to be good? And who am I? And what about this one? Why am I here? This is one of those billion-dollar questions. It gets at the heart of our very existence on this earth. Like, why do we inhabit bodies on this planet in this year with this family, living in this house, on this street, in this city, working this job, raising these kids? Why? I once heard of a philosophy professor giving his essay final to the class, and there was one question for the one essay they had to write. And the one question was a one-word question. Why? That was it. And the only kid that got an A answered with two words. Why not? You see, in Matthew 28, Jesus attempts to give a different answer than simply, why not? He points to his life, what he dedicated everything to, and he said, this is why you are here, to make disciples of all nations. Now, a disciple, that's a weird word. It basically means an apprentice. That's how Jesus used it when he began his ministry. He looked at regular people like you and me and said, come be my apprentice. Learn the way to a new life that advances a new kingdom and creates a new world instead of this old one. He says to follow me. And those people that followed him became his disciples or apprentices. They saw him proclaim in both word and deed the reality of this new world, and they were transformed in the process. They saw him heal a paralyzed man and forgive sins. He included the outcasts of society, and he told stories about seeds being planted, sons coming home, brothers getting angry. He invited us to take up our cross and follow him, to deny ourselves, to wash feet, to die to ourselves and to hope. You see, he turned the world upside down, which, to be honest, finally felt like it was being turned back to the right side up again. And then after he died for our sins and rose from the dead, and right before he elevates up to heaven, he says, go and make disciples, baptizing them and teaching them. Oh, and don't stop until all nations hear and see this new kingdom become a reality. And then up he went. And those disciples did what he told them to do, and their disciples did the same, and their disciples did the same, and fast forward 2,000 years, and now we are doing the same, trying to follow this man named Jesus into the way that leads to the made for more life. That's why we're here. It's a massive answer for an equally big question. So let me ask you one last question at the end of our time together. What have you discovered about Jesus?